everyone, this is Gaur Gopal. My sincerest and heartfelt congratulations to Thrive Global and a hearty welcome to India. You know, when I upgraded my career to be a life coach, I was an electrical engineer working with Hewlett-Packard, and here I was suddenly moving out of my white-collared Hewlett-Packard job to be a monk living in an ashram in a monastery, trying to be what's called as a life coach, and back then nobody even knew that word really, you know. And I was wondering, so many of my friends who studied with me at university, who were with me at Hewlett-Packard, have gone way up there. You know, many of them are CEOs and directors of leading multinational corporations in the Silicon Valley. I was wondering, how am I going to cope with this fear of missing out, FOMO, you know? And here's what I learned as a monk from the ancient spiritual heritage of this country, India. I learned the art of focusing on myself and my self-development. The more my attention is focused on others, I'm always going to think of what I'm missing out. I'm missing out on the nice car he or she has. I'm missing out on the nice looks he or she has. I'm missing out on the nice vacation he or she has. When I focus on others, the only emotion I'll go through is I am missing something in life. On the other hand, if I learn to focus on myself, I'm not going to be looking at what I'm missing out. I'm going to be looking at what I'm being blessed with, the opportunities that I have. The more I focus on myself, the more I focus on self-development, I'm not going to be a victim of the fear of missing out. And the problem with social media today is we have made everybody's private life public. So you're sitting here in Mumbai and you're looking at a friend of yours having a great time in Singapore. So the more you're focusing on him in Singapore, you're not going to be able to relish your time in Mumbai. You have a friend who's a couple. They got married. It was their wedding anniversary. And the guy posts a picture with his wife, and, you know, like hugging each other and like blah, 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 having a great time. And you're having a tough time with your wife. And man, this guy's having a great relationship. I'm missing out on that great relationship. Idiot. That's idiocy, because you don't even know that that guy and that lady who posted a picture of such a romantic gesture with each other had a horrible fight that afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we can only deal with this FOMO mentality effectively if we shift our attention and focus from others to ourselves. This is how I dealt with FOMO. If I would have focused on my friend in Silicon Valley, I would have thought, God, I'm missing something. Here I am, a life coach, reaching out to thousands, if not millions, trying to do my bit and completely satisfied with what I'm doing. I think anything that we do in our lives needs practice. When Tiger Woods was asked, what is the secret of your success? He said 3 words. First, practice. Second, practice. Third, practice. You only get better at something when you practice it. So when we talk about focusing on ourselves and not getting distracted by the surroundings around us, how much have we practiced it? We've only practiced being distracted by everything around us. We only practiced focusing on others. We only practiced on looking at what he has or what she has. And we've never ever practiced focusing on what we have. So which is why spirituality and the culture and the heritage of this great country teaches us that practice, which in Sanskrit is called sadhana. Meditation, chanting, different spiritual practices being some of those which take you from the outside world and put you in the inside world. Whether it's 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, what you're actually doing is you're training your mind, you're training yourself to focus within and not just the outside world. Now, if we start doing that and practicing that, that's also going to percolate down into our work, into our relationships, into our daily lives, because attitude is agnostic. It doesn't discriminate between spirituality, work, relationships, personal life. If you cultivate a certain attitude at your work, it's going to percolate in your spirituality, in your personal relationships, in your life. If you cultivate a certain attitude in your spirituality, it's going to percolate in the other areas of your life as well. Which is why I think the key element to really start focusing on yourself is practice, and spiritual practice is indeed powerful because it shifts the attention from outside to the inside. I think when we talk about stress, dealing with stress, here are the three things I usually recommend to deal with it. There are 3 S's. The first S being strike a balance in life. You know, all of us, we will have 2 components to our life. The first component is the have-to-dos. About 95% of the people in the world today, for them, their work is a have-to-do. They don't love it. They don't like it. They don't enjoy it. They're just doing it. Why? Because it gives them a paycheck. And I know that a paycheck is important because it pays the bills. You have a family, you have children, and the paycheck is indeed important. Mortgages, loans, EMIs to pay. That's a have-to-do. And have-to-dos cause a lot of stress. Here's my recommendation. You know for sure, whether it's your mom, dad, sibling, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, child, you know that no human being is perfect. There's going to be a dark side, a side that we don't like in them, which is the have-to-do, the handle part of it. But how do we continue that relationship? We continue that relationship based on our focus on the bright side of their personality. Treat your work as a relationship. Start looking at something bright in your work, something good that you may like, something that you can develop in your work, a liking for, in a way that the have-to becomes handleable. And the second component of your work is your love to do or your like to do. The second thing I talk about in dealing with stress, first is strike a balance. Second is seek support. You need to seek emotional support from people around you. There's going to be issues, there's going to be pressures, there's going to be problems, there's going to be deadlines, there's going to be challenges. Everybody has them. Which is why when you seek support, emotional support from people, it's not that they have a solution to the problem. They only ensure one thing, that they won't allow you to face that problem alone. Just to have someone by your side makes your stress a little easier. Just to be able to confide and open up to someone what you're going through makes you feel so light already. And the third thing I talk about, of course, is a spiritual connection again. With that spiritual connection, we get the fortitude to be able to face stress. So 3 S's, strike a balance, seek emotional support, and spiritually make a deep connect. That's how we can handle stress. In a very generic sense, I feel that when we're talking about purpose, we are talking about making a difference. And you cannot make a difference in someone's life unless you've made a difference in your own life. You can only give others what you have. If you can make a difference to your own life, then you can lead a life of making a difference to others. And that is the generic understanding of purpose. But when it comes to purpose in terms of specifics, this is what I feel. Here are the 3 steps, 3 P's again. The first thing I say is, figure out what are you good at and what do you love doing. When I can find these 2 things in one, that's called my passion, the first P. The second P is when my passion can pay me. That's my second P, it's called my profession. My passion becomes my profession when my passion starts paying me. The third aspect is when that profession you have can start contributing and making a difference in the lives of someone beyond a paycheck, beyond promotions, beyond money. All that's a necessary aspect, but beyond that, that's called the third P, which is our purpose. So when passion pays you, that becomes your profession. When profession contributes and makes a difference, that's called your purpose. The key element of technological addiction is moderation. I don't think technology is bad. Technology is bad when technology starts using us rather than we using technology for the purpose that we want to use it for. It's not the phone that we use that gives us happiness. It's whom we talk to and how we talk that gives us happiness. Which is why the quality of our relationships is so crucial and important, especially in the world today. Our offline relationships are so badly compromised in the name of our online relationships today. Every like, every comment, every share is a validation to my ego that I look good, that I spoke good, that I wrote good, that I posted a great video or I posted a great post. They'll put a crown on your head today and tomorrow they'll pull that crown down and drag you down. Many of us have experienced it. Which is why I say, you may have 5,000 friends on Facebook, probably 30,000 followers on Twitter, maybe 100,000 on Instagram. But when you meet with an accident, the people who are sitting outside the intensive care unit is your mom, your dad, your spouse, your sibling, your child, your close friend. Tell me if there's anyone online except for sending a smiley with tears, an emoticon with tears, and except for saying praying for you and get well soon, and a bouquet of flowers which is not real anyways. Tell me if any of those online people come there to you to support you when you're in the time of the greatest need. So I don't have a problem with social media, but when it crosses the boundary, where our online relationships become way more important than our offline relationships, we must know two things. One, we are living a life simply of validation of our egos. And number two, these online relationships are not there by your side to support you. So yes, moderate it. You don't have to give it up. If we use technology as a tool and connect to people, make online friends, not at the cost of our offline relationships, then that balance is what will bring meaning to life. We need to start living a life of awareness. We have to start becoming conscious of which area of my life needs attention. We live such a mechanistic, routine, autopilot life that we are not even conscious of what needs attention. Sometimes it's weight loss that needs attention. So your fitness needs the first priority. Sometimes it's pending work at office that needs attention. Sometimes it's a broken relationship at home or in your friendship because of having said something or a misunderstanding sometimes happened. That needs attention. Which is why unless you start living a life of awareness, it's extremely difficult to live a life of balance. And now it sounds quite lofty and sounds quite philosophical and theoretical as we'll start leading a life of awareness. What does it mean in practical terms? What does it mean in terms of ground realities of life? What is the one thing that we can start doing now in a way that that awareness can increase? We need to start living a life of being mindful and in the present. The first thing that we need to start doing is to start eating when we are eating. No phones, no television, no talking, just eating. To feel the food, to taste the food, to look at the food. And it's not about the food, it's just about training your mind to be more aware of what you're doing. When we start doing these small things, our mind, our consciousness starts getting trained up in a way that it starts extending to the larger areas of our life as well. Three things again. The first thing I talk about is our exchanges with others. When we talk about our exchanges, Jim Rohn, he said, we are the average of the 5 people whom we spend the most time with. So who are you having the most exchanges with? Those 5 people are so crucial because their values, their beliefs, their lifestyle is going to influence yours. Choose your company rightly if you want to be a life coach. Secondly, it's not just about exchanges. It's about listening to, hearing from, reading about experts in life. There's so many videos and so much material available online today. There's so many books written in the arena of life. And the third, when you hear from these people or read what they have written, the experts, then look at the principles, the elements that they have shared. How would these elements and principles be applicable in your situation? So when you apply those principles slowly in your life, the third E is experience. Now when you gain that experience, you become a life coach for yourself because you get the discretion, what to do, what not to do. And then slowly you can also start acting as a life coach to others by now moving from experience to becoming an expert for them so that they gain their experience. So when I talk about being a life coach, here are the three things, the three E's. The first E is your exchanges, number two, experts, and third, once you have heard, read, start applying a few of those principles to your specific situations, develop your own, gain your experience, coach yourself, and coach others.